The year was 3172. In the far reaches of space, past the last mapped star systems, there was a region few dared to explore, the galactic core zone. Most called it a death trap. The laws of physics broke down there, time warped, gravity twisted, ships that entered rarely returned. Alien empires avoided it, fearing what they didn't understand. But humanity was different. In secret, Earth had gone into the core, and deep inside they built something powerful, warships powered by dark matter, the mysterious force that made up most of the universe. No other species had even come close to controlling it. Now 5 massive ships floated quietly in the darkness, invisible to scanners, hidden from sight. These were the Black Core Armada, humanity's greatest secret. Aboard the command ship, Eclipse 1, Captain James Walker stood on the main deck. He was 38, tall and lean, with a calm voice and sharp eyes. A soldier turned strategist, Walker had survived Earth's bloody first contact war decades earlier. He had seen how the Galactic Council treated humans, with fear, with control, with force. They called humans young. They called them dangerous. But they didn't see what Walker saw, that Earth could become the most powerful force in the galaxy if it had the courage to take control of its destiny. Status, Walker said, looking out the wide viewing window. Outside, space shimmered like oil on water. Cloak is holding. Core reactors are stable, replied Lieutenant Luna Hale, second in command. All warships in position, no contact yet. Walker nodded. Keep us dark. Let's see how brave the Council really is. Far across the galaxy, in the shining halls of the Galactic Council station, thousands of alien delegates gathered. The Council ruled over more than 1,000 star systems. At the center of it all stood High Chancellor Vorel Dravis, tall and gray-skinned, his eyes sharp and cold. He had ruled for over 100 years, keeping order with tight control. Now, he stood before the chamber, holding a datapad. There are strange readings near the core, he said. His voice echoed. Someone is generating unnatural gravity pulses. It is not natural. We suspect Earth. The room buzzed with nervous talk. The humans have followed our rules, said one delegate. There has been peace since the war. Dravis raised his hand. Peace is a lie. They are building something. I will not wait for them to strike first. He called for a vote. Most aliens were afraid, but Dravis was persuasive. In the end, the Council agreed. They would send a recon fleet to investigate the core. 10 fast scout ships launched within the day. Back aboard Eclipse 1, alarms chimed. Captain, Luna said, eyes on her screen. Council ships just entered core space. 10 vessels. They're scanning. Walker stayed calm. He expected this. No response, he said. Let them come. He walked down the quiet corridor to the observation deck. The stars beyond twisted like smoke. Somewhere out there, Council ships were drawing closer, blind to what waited in the dark. Walker remembered Mars base. The screams, the fire, his wife, his son, lost when the Council attacked during the early war. He made a promise that day. Never again. Now, Earth had the power to defend itself, maybe even to lead. Inside the deep core, the first warship, Black Fang, slowly awakened. Its engines were quiet, its hull black as space. Its dark matter core began to glow with pulsing light. It was not powered by fuel, but by the very force that held the universe together. The Council had sent scouts into the unknown. They were walking into a trap, not one meant to kill, but to send a message. Humanity was no longer weak. It was watching, and it was ready. The 10 Council scout ships flew in a tight formation as they moved deeper into the core. Each ship was fast, armed with light shields, and designed for long-range scanning. Their mission was simple: investigate the source of the strange energy pulses and report back. But they didn't know what waited for them. Inside one of the lead ships, a tall, thin alien named Commander Varen Solis sat in the pilot's chair. His skin was blue and covered in thin silver lines. He had served the Council for over 50 years and believed in its laws without question. "We're approaching the anomaly zone," his navigator said. Varen stared at the swirling space ahead. The core didn't look natural. Light bent strangely. Stars flickered and vanished. It felt like flying through a dream or a nightmare. "Keep shields up," Varen ordered. "Scan for structures, energy signatures, anything." Suddenly, his ship shook, not from an impact, but from space itself shifting around them. "Gravitational spike detected," the navigator shouted. Varen's screen flashed red. "What in the stars?" Before he could finish his sentence, something massive appeared in front of them. A black shape, nearly invisible, slowly revealed itself. A warship. But nothing like any council ship. It had no sharp angles, no glowing engines. It floated silent and still, like a shadow come to life. Its surface seemed to absorb light. A symbol was etched across its side, a silver outline of Earth. And then it moved. From its center, a glowing pulse began to grow. Not light, not fire. Something darker, a wave of energy built from dark matter. Varen's eyes widened. Evade, now, but it was too late. The pulse spread outward in silence. It didn't explode. It bent space around the fleet. The ships began to twist, dragged by invisible forces. Some simply vanished. Others folded into themselves. No alarms, no fire, just disappearance. In less than 30 seconds, all 10 ships were gone. The warship Black Fang faded back into darkness. It didn't chase. It didn't fire again. Its job was done. Back on Eclipse 1, Captain Walker watched the data stream. "Scout fleet destroyed," Luna reported quietly. "No survivors, no transmissions." Walker didn't smile. He didn't speak for a moment. Then he said, "They came into our home. They saw our strength. Now they know." In Earth's hidden command center, the global leaders gathered for a secure meeting. A large screen showed the fading energy signatures from the core. "They'll know it was us," said the president of Earth. "They'll respond." "Yes," Walker said, joining via secure feed. "Let them." One general spoke nervously. "We've crossed a line. This was the first strike. What if they retaliate with everything they've got?" "They already planned to," Walker said. "We just forced them to move sooner. It's better to face them now, when they're unsure, then wait until they're fully prepared." On the other side of the galaxy, High Chancellor Dravis stood in the middle of the council chamber, trembling with rage. "All gone?" he asked. A terrified aide nodded. "Yes, Chancellor. All 10 ships." No response. The scouts vanished. Dravis slammed his clawed hand against the stone table. "It's the humans. I know it. Only they would dare something so reckless." "Should we investigate further?" asked a delegate. "No," Dravis growled. "We prepare for war." Within hours the council began gathering its war fleet. Hundreds of ships from dozens of civilizations, battleships, cruisers, carriers. A massive armada, unlike anything assembled in 1,000 years. News spread across the galaxy. Rumors flew. Some said Earth had a secret weapon. Others said the core had awakened an ancient power. But deep inside the darkness, humanity remained quiet. On Eclipse 1, Walker stood in the command deck, watching stars bend beyond the glass. "Let them come," he said softly. "We'll be ready." The Black Core Armada sat in silence. 5 warships, powered by the invisible heart of the universe. The war hadn't started yet, but it was coming. The Council had declared war. Their fleet, now called the Unified Defense Armada, stretched across space. Over 1,000 warships gathered near the border of the galactic core zone. Each ship came from a different world, some old, some new, but all prepared for battle. They were led by the best admirals of the Council, united by one goal: stop Earth before it could rise any further. Inside the war chamber of Council Command, High Chancellor Varel Dravis stood tall. His hands gripped the edge of the long control table, claws tapping with growing anger. "Humanity has crossed the line," he said to the gathered leaders. "They have built weapons in secret. They destroyed our scouts without warning. This is no longer a question of peace. It is a question of survival. Some leaders nodded in agreement. Others looked nervous. They were peaceful for decades, said one alien diplomat. Why strike now? Because they were buying time, Travis growled. And we gave it to them. He looked at the massive display showing the core. The map glowed red with rising energy signatures. Deploy the fleet, he ordered. All of it. We crushed them before they spread. Far inside the core, Captain James Walker stood in front of his crew aboard Eclipse 1. The news had arrived. War was official. He looked calm, but inside he knew this moment would shape the future of Earth. Everyone, he said, voice clear and steady. This is what we've prepared for. The Council wants to end us before we show our strength. But now, we show them who we really are. His crew watched him closely. Officers, engineers, pilots. Some were young, fresh from training. Others were veterans from the contact war. All of them were loyal. We don't fire first, Walker said. We don't aim to destroy unless we must. But we will defend Earth with everything we have. The screen behind him showed 5 glowing dots. The Black Core Armada. Each ship was powered by a dark matter core. Each ship could bend space, phase through attacks, and release gravity pulses that could crush a fleet in seconds. No alien civilization had anything close to it. Operation Eclipse is active, said Lieutenant Luna Hale, standing beside Walker. All 5 warships online. Systems green. Cloaking field stable. Walker nodded. Good. Begin the broadcast. Across the galaxy, a signal was sent, not as a threat, but as a warning. Every leader, every commander, every soldier in the Council received the same message. Walker appeared on their screens. Calm, clear, focused. This is Captain James Walker of Earth's Core Defense Command. We have not attacked you. We have not invaded your worlds. But we will not kneel. If you approach the core with weapons drawn, know this: we will respond. Humanity is not weak. We are not alone. We are ready. Then the message ended. Back in Council space, panic spread. Some fleets paused. Some commanders hesitated. The tone of Walker's message was not aggressive. It was controlled, confident, too confident. What are they hiding? Scud, one general asked. Dravis clenched his fists. It doesn't matter. Advance. Inside Eclipse 1, Walker stood by the large viewing window. Outside, space rippled softly. The real core was alive, silent, but watching. He turned to Luna. Some alien captains are pulling back, she said, but most are still advancing. Walker took a deep breath. Then we hold. Until the last moment. His ship and the others remained cloaked, waiting. Aboard each of the dark matter warships, crews prepared in silence. Power levels rose. Core pulses synced. Weapons came online, but were kept cold. This wasn't about destruction. This was about showing the galaxy something it had never seen before, something it had never imagined. On Earth, millions watched as the news broke. The Council had declared war. The core was being surrounded. But Earth did not panic. They had faith in the Black Core Armada. They had faith in Walker. Back in space, the largest fleet in galactic history moved toward the core. And deep within the darkness, 5 ships waited, still, silent, and ready. The countdown to first contact had begun. The stars around the galactic core twisted unnaturally as the unified defense armada entered the outer zone. Over 1,000 Council warships moved in formation, row after row of battle-ready vessels. Their lights flickered through the dark as they closed in on their target, humanity's hidden stronghold. Inside the command ship of the Council fleet, Admiral Nethrix, a veteran warrior with deep scars across his scaled face, stared at the swirling gravity waves. "This place feels cursed," he muttered. "Nothing natural lives here." A young officer nodded nervously. "We're detecting heavy gravitational shifts, sir. Something big is in there. Prepare weapons. All ships hold formation, Nethrix ordered. No retreat. No retreat. At that same moment, far deeper in the core, humanity made its move. On the bridge of Eclipse 1, Captain James Walker stood in full uniform. His face was calm, but his eyes were sharp. He had waited years for this moment, not to fight, but to be heard. Cloaking field down, ordered Lieutenant Luna Hale. We're visible. Outside, the blackness of space shimmered, and then the first of the Black Core warships appeared. The ships didn't arrive with noise or fire. They simply came into view, rising from the darkness like shadows taking form. 5 massive warships, each shaped like smooth, curved daggers, floated side by side. Their dark surfaces absorbed starlight. Their cores pulsed like living hearts. The Council fleet stopped. Inside his ship, Admiral Nethrix stared in disbelief. What are those? They were like nothing he had ever seen. No heat signatures, no standard drives. And yet, they hovered with ease, untouched by gravity. Walker's voice echoed across all Council channels. This is Captain Walker of the Earth Core Fleet. Turn back. This is your only warning. Some Council commanders hesitated, but others, driven by fear or pride, launched the first attack. A wave of missiles and plasma bolts surged through space, heading straight for the human fleet. Walker raised one hand. Engage defense protocols. From each human warship, dark matter shields flared to life. The incoming weapons didn't explode. They vanished, swallowed by the bending of space. Nothing touched the hulls, not even light. Then humanity struck back. Not with missiles, but with gravity weapons. The Black Core ships released silent pulses. Space warped around the Council fleet. Time stretched. Ships spun out of control. Some were pulled into miniature black holes. Others were crushed by their own gravity fields turning against them. It was not a battle. It was a display of power. Admiral Nethrix shouted, "Retreat. We can't." But his ship twisted, vanished, and was gone. In less than 10 minutes, half the Council fleet was disabled or destroyed. The rest fled, terrified and confused. Only one ship remained, the Council flagship, carrying High Chancellor Vorel Dravis himself. Walker opened a direct channel. "Chancellor, you have seen what we've built. We could destroy you, but we won't." Dravis, shaken, stared at the screen. "You were supposed to serve us." Walker looked him in the eye. "No. We were meant to rise." Without firing a single shot more, Walker gave the order, "Board the Council ship. Bring me to the Chancellor." A few minutes later, Walker stood in the center of the enemy flagship. The alien guards didn't move. They were stunned, not by weapons, but by what Walker represented. "I am not here to conquer," Walker said firmly. "I'm here to end this. Earth will never kneel again. If you want peace, it begins now. If you want war, we finish it today." Dravis, shaken and silent, had no answer. The galaxy had changed in one battle, and Earth now stood at the center of it. The Council flagship floated alone in the vast stillness of the core. Around it, wreckage from hundreds of warships drifted like broken bones. The battle was over. The silence that followed was heavy, not with peace, but with shock. Inside the flagship's high chamber, High Chancellor Vorel Dravis sat on his throne, silent and pale. His long gray fingers trembled as he watched the security feed. Every screen showed the same thing: 5 human warships, untouched, glowing softly with the pulsing light of their dark matter cores. Captain James Walker stood before him, calm and composed. Around them, Council guards and officers stared at Walker with a mix of fear and awe. "You could have destroyed us," Dravis said quietly. Walker nodded, "Yes, but we didn't." Dravis looked up, his voice cracked with disbelief. "Why?" Walker didn't hesitate. "Because we're not here to rule the galaxy. We're here to protect our place in it." He took a step closer. "We built our power in secret because you forced us to. You feared us. You tried to control us. But now, you've seen what humanity has become. The question is, what do you want to happen next?" Dravis glanced at his guards, but they didn't move. No one dared stop Walker. Not now. One of the council's senior diplomats, a wise and ancient being named Speaker Arula, stepped forward. "Captain Walker," she said gently, "what are your terms?" Walker kept his answer simple. "Earth becomes a core power. We take our place at the council's highest level, equal to the founding empires. No more inspections. No more threats. From now on we decide our own fate." Dravas opened his mouth to object, but Arula raised a hand. "He speaks reason," she said. "We attacked first. He showed restraint. He offered peace. I say we vote." And they did. Across hundreds of worlds, council representatives cast their votes, and for the first time in history, a young species, one that had once been seen as weak and unworthy, was accepted as a galactic core power. Plus, the final vote, 981 in favor, 17 against, 2 undecided. Walker left the council flagship shortly after. He didn't celebrate. He didn't make speeches. He simply returned to Eclipse 1, where his crew was waiting. Inside the command room, Lieutenant Luna Hale saluted him. "It's done?" she asked. Walker gave a small nod. "It's done." The crew erupted in quiet cheers and relieved smiles. They had done what no one thought possible. They hadn't just survived. They had changed everything. Back on Earth, news spread fast. People poured into the streets, not just to celebrate victory, but to breathe freely again, knowing their future was finally in their own hands. Other younger civilizations across the galaxy watched closely. Many of them had also suffered under the Council's control. Now, with Earth rising, they saw hope. They saw a future where power came, not from age but from strength, unity, and will. The old order had cracked, and a new balance was forming. In the final council meeting of the season, Earth's flag was raised among the great banners of the galaxy. Its symbol, a blue planet surrounded by 5 stars, now shined alongside the emblems of ancient empires. The message was clear. Humanity had arrived. The stars around the core shimmered with quiet peace. The battle was over, and the galaxy was no longer the same. The council had stepped back. Earth now stood as an equal, not by begging, but by proving its strength. Aboard Eclipse 1, Captain James Walker stood in the observation deck, looking out into the vastness of space. The 5 black core warships drifted slowly nearby, glowing softly with the energy of their dark matter cores. They were silent giants, symbols of a new era. Behind him, Lieutenant Luna Hale entered the room. "Final orders from Earth just came in," she said. "The core fleet is to return to deep space patrol. No shows of force, no travel beyond our borders without cause." Walker nodded. "Good, that's how it should be." He turned back to the window. "They know we exist. That's enough." For a moment there was silence between them. Then Luna asked the question everyone had been thinking. "Was it worth it, sir? All the hiding, the secrecy, the risk?" Walker didn't answer right away. His eyes followed the gentle pulse of Black Fang's gravity core, the ship that had first revealed itself during the Council's probe mission. "It had to be done," he said quietly. "We didn't want to fight, but they wouldn't listen any other way." He paused. "Now they will." Walker walked down to the command deck, where his officers stood waiting. Each of them had served in silence, building something the galaxy couldn't even imagine. And they had done it not for power, but for survival. He looked at them one by one, then spoke. "You've changed history, not with destruction, not with war, but with restraint. We proved that humanity isn't just strong. We're wise enough to use that strength carefully." He tapped a console, opening his final mission log. His voice, steady and firm, recorded the message that would be stored in Earth's core memory banks for generations to come. "This is Captain James Walker of Eclipse 1. Humanity has secured its place among the stars. We did not ask for war, but we were ready for it. We did not demand respect, but we earned it. Let this be a lesson to every child born tomorrow. We are not here to conquer. We are here to stand free. And no one will ever take that from us again." As the message saved, Eclipse 1 slowly powered down its primary weapons. The other ships followed. Their cores dimmed to standby mode. The Black Core Armada turned quietly and began to move, disappearing into the deep shadows of the core, their presence known, their silence louder than any war cry. Far across the galaxy, empires watched. Some with fear, others with hope. The rise of Earth had shaken the stars. And now others would rise too. A new age had begun, not ruled by fear, but by balance. And at its heart, floating beyond the edge of known space, was the fleet that changed everything. The humans who dared to enter the core, and came out stronger.